very good afternoon. Well, we start with the latest as far as the Gyanvapi Mosque hearing is concerned. Now, remember, the district judge has already begun hearing the case, and the Muslim side has now continued with its arguments. Now, remember, on the 26th, that is the last time the hearing was underway, the Muslim side could not conclude with its arguments, and so the arguments are continuing for the second day today after 4 days. Now, let me quickly go across to Amir as the fight for Gyanvapi truth intensifies, with the district court hearing the maintainability of the plea by 5 Hindu women seeking permission for daily worship of the Shringar Gauri Sthal in Kashi Vishwanath temple complex. Amir, now, what can you tell us? We've seen aggressive arguments come to light from the Muslim side, and this could perhaps take a few days given the kind of arguments that need to be presented overall. What more can you tell us about the latest?
Well, that's right. You see, there are 3-4 main points pertaining to today's hearing. One, of course, that the Muslim side is continuing its arguments as far as the maintainability of the petition in light of the 1991 Places of Worship Act is concerned. Second, the court will today decide whether actually, in fact, the court had earlier appointed today as the day when all the evidences that have been found out in the survey that had been conducted in early and mid-May, whether it has to be handed over to both the sides, the Hindu sides as well as Muslim side councils or not. The Muslim side, of course, is against the handing over of the videography and photography and other evidences, because it says then it will come into the public domain and have bearing on the manner in which the course, in which the case gets heard within the court as well. As far as the Hindu side is concerned, their focus remains on ensuring that since they believe the object that has been found out in the middle of the wuzu khana is actually a shivling, their focus remains on asking for permission, court's permission for worshipping the deity there, for worshipping the shivling there, and therefore they say that access should be provided to them as far as the Gyanvapi complex is concerned. There are other allied petitions as well, wherein the Hindu side is definitely asking for permission to either sift through the debris that has been found out from the underground cellars, as well as removal of the wall between the Nandi and the wuzu khana on one side, because it says that they both are actually connected. And now there are various petitions that have been put forward before the court as far as allowing Hindu side access to the Kashi Vishwanath, access to the Gyanvapi complex. And also there are petitions that in fact go on to say that Muslims should be denied entry inside the Gyanvapi Mosque complex because it is the Hindu deity that has been found there, and therefore Hindus have a right to go ahead and worship it. So a number of petitions filed before the court, but primarily only 2 points that are coming up today. First, the arguments will continue as far as the Muslim side is concerned about maintainability of the Hindu side petition. And the other point definitely pertains to handing over of videographic and photographic evidence to both sides, that perhaps will get all of what has happened during the survey into the public domain.
Yes, absolutely. So before I go across to Harish, let me also bring in Akanksha, who's joining us and tracking the latest from inside the court. As Akanksha, we are also being told that the Muslim side has made reference to the Deen Muhammad case of the 1937, in which it was decided on how much area is the property of the mosque and how much is the property of the temple. So they're going down to the basics now. What more can you tell us about the latest arguments being presented, Akanksha?
Well, definitely, I'm outside the courtroom where the hearing is currently underway, and the media is not allowed beyond the police barricade. What we've come to know through the sources is that Muslim side is currently presenting the arguments. They are reading out paragraph after paragraph from the lawsuit. Now, if you remember, they have challenged the maintainability of the lawsuit filed by the Hindu side, and they are currently saying in the court that it is barred under the Places of Worship Act. Just now they were reading out paragraph number 21 from the lawsuit, which alludes to Deen Muhammad's case of 1937. If I read out that paragraph to you. The Hindu side has written that in paragraph 16, the Honorable Court has held that the property in suit was not a waqf property. So this is what the Muslim side is opposing in the court right now. We'll later know what exactly their arguments were, but at this point, only 47 people are allowed inside the court, all of them counsels and litigants. Last time the Muslim side had argued for 2 straight hours, during which they had questioned the maintainability. They had said that the Hindu side does not have any evidence to support the plea, and also that there are various contradictions in their lawsuit. So currently, paragraphs after paragraphs are being read by the Muslim side. Last time they had read only till 12 paragraphs, but now today we are expecting that at least 30 to 36 paragraphs will be heard. There are in total of 56 paragraphs in the lawsuit. Other than that, I must tell you that a new plea has been filed by the Hindu organization Kendriya Brahman Mahasabha in the civil court of Varanasi, seeking worshipping rights of shivling recovered from the Gyanvapi.
Yes, so a new plea that has now been filed. A new Hindu organization has now moved the Varanasi court and once again sought worshipping rights of shivling that has been recovered in the Gyanvapi Mosque. Let me bring in Harish on that note. Harish, we've been discussing through the course of the last few days how the Places of Worship Act 1991 has been mentioned by the Muslim side. Once again, in today's argument as well, we saw how they highlighted that point, in fact spoke of the paragraph 17th of the lawsuit filed by the Hindu side and spoke of how this is in contention to the 1991 Places of Worship Act. Can you throw some light on that, Harish?
Yes, in fact, we all know, even from the right from the inception, the right to the places of worship has been at the crux of this entire episode. While the Muslim side, that is the Anjuman Intizamiya, contends that the plaint filed by the 5 women Hindu devotees is in violation of the Places of Worship Act and is barred by Places of Worship Act. The Hindu side contends that in fact this particular complex, that is the Kashi Vishwanath and Gyanvapi complex, comes under the exceptions under the Places of Worship Act and comes under the Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act 1958. They also contend that even the religious character of this Gyanvapi complex is that of a temple, given the fact that there are several idols and murals, Hindu idols and murals of Ma Sringar Gauri, Lord Ganesh, Lord Hanuman, Lord Vishnu, and also Nandi, and also contend that that even the architecture and several objects found during the survey from the Gyanvapi complex is unique to a Hindu temple. So they say that even the religious structure, even the religious character of this disputed structure is that of a temple. So the the Places of Worship Act will not be applicable to this whole dispute. But the Muslim side once again contends that even the Supreme Court had once again several times upheld the validity of Places of Worship Act, including in the Ayodhya case, where a bench led by then Chief Justice Ranjan Gogoi had held that Places of Worship Act is a legislative instrument aimed at preserving the secular character of the country, which is the basic structure of the Constitution. And the Muslim Masjid side also reminds the Varanasi district judge that the Ayodhya judgment had said that historical wrongs cannot be remedied by people by taking law into their hands. So these are some of the several arguments being made in the during the hearing. And as my colleague Akanksha has reported, even Muslims had also made reference to the Deen Dayal Mohammed case of 1937, in which it was decided on how much area is the property of the mosque and how much is the property of the temple. And once again, Muslim side is opposing the paragraph from the Hindu lawsuit which states that property was not a waqf property. So Muslim side has once again come to the Places of Worship Act also. They also contend that this suit should be dismissed at the threshold because of its maintainability. It cannot be maintained, it cannot be admitted at all, given the fact that it is in violation of the Places of Worship Act. Back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Harish. We'll keep coming back to you. But for the moment,